Are you the go-to person when your friends need advice? When was the last time they checked up on you? Hello beautiful people, it's Maya, and today's mission is to talk about the struggles of being the strong friend. If you don't know what that is, being the strong friend is basically you're the friend in the group that when people need emotional support or advice, they go to you, they talk to you about their problems, they're gonna vent to you. And you know what? That's cool because that's what friendship is about. You should be able to express your concerns with each other, get advice, get support. That is literally what friendship is about. But being the strong friend can be a blessing and a curse because after a while it can be exhausting when you're constantly exerting your energy to help other people, but you may not be receiving that back. And don't get me wrong, I love giving advice to other people. It is just something that comes easily to me, but sometimes I may need advice too. I may need that emotional support too. So people just really need to keep that in mind. And I'm gonna read what this tweet on Instagram says because I was like, oh my gosh, this is me. And it says, it's flattering but also overwhelming when people regularly look to you for emotional support or advice. It's particularly overwhelming because people rarely make it a habit to check on your own mental or emotional state before they ask for help. They typically just offload. And then she later goes on to say, people often assume you don't have your own problems. And why is this? Because people assume, you're the strong friend, you may not have the problems, you know that you have the tools to deal with these issues on your own. And this is not true. That is debunked. That is not true. Everyone is human. Everyone has their own issues that they're going through. So when people say, check on your strong friends, okay? Make it a habit to constantly check on all of your friends, whether they're the strong friend, whether they're someone that always needs advice. Make sure that you're checking on them because people deal with issues on a day-to-day basis. And just because I may not be calling to you and venting to you and saying, I'm dealing with this and I'm dealing with that, doesn't mean that I don't have those problems. It can be hard as a strong friend to call somebody and simply vent to them because you may feel like you're a burden. You may feel like, oh, they don't want to hear my problems. They already have their own problems. And that's not true. In order to have a successful friendship or relationship or whatever, you need to be able to feel comfortable to share how you feel at all times and be honest about it. Share your emotions and get that support because when you stifle your emotions, you bottle up your emotions, we all know that is not a good thing. But sometimes it can be exhausting. And I know some people they're not doing it intentionally. The main thing that people need to be aware of is that you need to be able to see things from other people's perspectives. So before you go and vent to that friend that you're always venting to, make sure you ask them, how are they doing? Is there something you want to talk about? And you may have to pry it out of them, but it's better that you at least try. Even if they say, I'm good, ask them about it later. Like, are you really okay? Like, how are things going? Make sure to check up on them. Just because it may seem like everything is sunshine and rainbows on the outside does not mean that that is 100% true. Trust me, it is something I'm even working on too, of being able to open up to people. And when they ask me how I'm doing, be honest about it. Because I love the positive person that I am, but I'm not always like this. I'm not always going to be that positive person, the person that is always ready to give people advice. Sometimes I need to hear it too, and I need to know that I'm being supported. So if you're dealing with this, how do you navigate through this struggle of being this strong friend and not always being heard or not feeling like you're seen because you're always exerting that energy? The answer to this, and I'm working on this too, okay? Boundaries. And I know you're probably tired of hearing that word, but that's just the reality. Do not feel bad for saying no and backing out and just needing your own space and not answering the phone when this particular friend calls you because you know that you're going through something and you may not have the energy to answer to their problems. Don't be afraid of having to tell them, hey, I'm dealing with something right now. When I'm able to recuperate, I will come back to you and I will talk to you later. But right now, I'm really not in the place where I can give you advice or talk. Because what people fail to understand is that if you're already let's say you're in a bad mood and then somebody calls you about how they're in a bad mood and just releasing all their problems onto you, it can be a lot. It can be overwhelming. This has happened to me several times. And sometimes I just have to be like, you know what? Can we talk about this later? I don't really feel like I'm in the place to talk about this right now. You should not feel bad for having to put yourself ahead of other people's problems, because I think that's the thing about being the strong friend. You know, you feel good that people come to you. It's flattering, it's awesome, but at the same time, you need to make sure that your needs are met as well, and that your needs are met first. Because I always say this, in order for me to pour into others, I need to be able to pour back into myself. So how am I supposed to give someone advice if I'm not even mentally there in that place to give that person advice? Does that make sense? And trust me, your true friends will definitely understand this. They'll definitely understand that they need to respect your boundaries. And if not, then let's reconsider the people that we call our friends. Let's just say it like that. And aside from, creating these boundaries, please, this is something that I'm working on too. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Please don't be afraid to reach out to other people, because as a strong person, as a strong friend, you may feel like you have all the answers, and that's not true. The truth is, you can't navigate through all your problems by yourself. Sometimes you need to call up that friend and say, hey, I need to talk. Or call that friend and say, hey, can we go grab a bite to eat? Like, I need to talk to you about whatever it is that I'm dealing with. Get more comfortable doing that, because like I said earlier, if you just bottle up everything, it is eventually it's all going to come crashing down, and you're going to realize, okay, I need to set boundaries. I need to feel comfortable asking people for help, because I can't do it all by myself, and I can't always be that person that is helping other people when I'm not even helping myself. And that is the tea. That's just the tea. So thank you so much for watching this video. This is a short little video just so you guys know that being the strong friend is an amazing thing, but you also need to be kind to yourself and let people know when times are tough, you can't always give that advice. So stay true to yourself, check on your strong friends, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to share it with anyone that may resonate with it. And thank you so much for watching.